So restaurant number 2, folks, today. So they divide in this restaurant's foods in different types. You got the Punjabi section, you got a Chinese section, South Indian section. And there's easily over 400 choices. I mean, just look at it. You know, it's page after page. All these are different choices that you can come to eat. And basically, you know, like let's say you want Punjabi, so you would go like to the Punjabi section and then you can choose from there. It's all vegetarian. So this is what 5,000 plus years of time can give you to in terms of culinary choices. You actually get a tremendous lot of options. And then even from I'm gonna try the dragon roll, see what that is. Guess I'm not that hungry, to be honest. It's the milkshake. Yeah, I have a question. What is a rose milkshake?
Rose milkshake is in some rose.
Like the flower?
Yeah. But wrap, rose wrap. Nice. Very nice.
Okay, and you have buttermilk.
Buttermilk.
Do you have buttermilk? Oh, I like to get one buttermilk first, and then thank you. So I've been trying to find out this thing that I had once in one of the restaurant. I mean, not at a restaurant. There is a dessert here in India, which is something beyond this world. It's actually has fruits, so it's like it looks almost like you're drinking milk, and there's fruits inside, but it's not milk. It's a little bit sweeter than milk, and it's not yogurt. It has a vanilla taste to it, and I don't know the name. So this is another thing that I've ended up doing. When I'm telling you folks that I do things, I don't mean to say that I do things. Thank you very much. That I do things in order to choose food in a, how to say, like methodical way. Quite the opposite. I've actually ended up, you know, after some time, this is what I do. So So the buttermilk is something that I'm never gonna have again. It's basically salt milk. So these are the names that you guys want to see. Godbot is, I just looked on Google. It has a lot of options in terms of, it looks very sweet. It looks very sweet. Then the Faluda is the one that I looked at, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. I'll have to ask because the place that I actually had that dessert was at the ashram. So I'll have to ask the ashram people the name of the dessert. It was because it's absolutely wonderful. I think you could actually eat that dessert for lunch. Folks, for lunch, dessert for lunch. If that's not innovation in terms of weight loss medicine, eating dessert for lunch. So, last time I had the veg wonton fry. It was very good. So anyways, folks, I strongly advise for some of you that can make any sort of money while on traveling, get a good job or try to work on something that allows you to travel and at the same time, you know, discover the world, see what's out there, see what's a good price, what's cheap, you know, where you can buy land. But do that at the same time as you discover the world traveling and you're working. I mean, that's really, in my opinion, an ideal thing to do. This fucking milk is disgusting. I can't drink this. So when you don't know what to eat out of these hundreds of choices, I guess the way to go is to get a thali. The vegetarian thali has a lot of options and it will give you a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna see if I can get a thali to go. Not to go, I mean for here. Thali to go. So earlier today I wanted to have a gulab jamun. I guess now's the time to get one. Shrikant. Gotta look if the name is... The watermelon juice in this country is absolutely excellent. So I'm gonna get a watermelon juice, a gulab jamun. You see, folks, I've taken quite some time. There's nobody around me to bother me in terms of making the choice for food. It's really just myself. And this is how, in my opinion, the average person should choose their food, not being constantly interrupted by family members or any conversation with a business partner or whatever. It's just you taking your time, going in through your mind, oh, what did I... You actually just look at the menu, and then the choices that the things you've been craving for will show up. They'll come up on its own. So watermelon juice, the gulab jamun, and just like, you know, just be yourself, be easygoing. Look at it 10 times. He said rose milkshake actually uses roses, like real life roses. I'm curious, you know, as to what that's gonna taste like. It costs us $1, so, you know, I'm not gonna cry. Like, this buttermilk costs us, I don't know how much, but I'm not, it costs us, this buttermilk, folks, costed 65 cents Canadian cents. That's like 50 cents US. It's about, actually it's a little more than that. It's about 60 cents US. So highly affordable. So you can make mistakes. It's not like you're gonna try this new dish, which is a 70, you know, like $16 dish, and then you don't like it, and then you're like choosing another one's gonna bring my bill up to $35. Actually, here in India, you can actually really try food, because even if you don't like it, hey, it's not gonna hurt that much. So like Kesar pista, or you can't really see it. I mean, it's very difficult, but you choose a milkshake with ice cream. You actually can choose the type of ice cream you want in it, and these are the options that you have. So you can basically go like, I'd like to get mango ice cream with my with that thing, or a strawberry ice cream, you know, or butterscotch ice cream, or chocolate, or green pista. So you can really be creative, and I guess you can do that. So pistachios is actually pista. So you can have pistachio ice cream with a milkshake of roses for $2 US. I mean, this is good living, folks. But anyways, you know, I guess you want to have a Coke, have a Sprite. You're gonna pay, and you end up paying more than I do here. I mean, that's unfair. I feel that's unfair to you. That's unfair to your stomach, you know. So, but then again, so this is in the city of Pune. This is where I am right now, and I'm gonna order my food. I think I know what I want. Excuse me, gentlemen. I'd like to order. I'm gonna try the rose milkshake with ice cream, with pista, green pista ice cream.
Green pista, okay.
I'd like to get also one gulab jamun.
Yeah.
And one veg Thai
Curry. Green.
The not spicy one.
No, green. Okay.
Just
And inside will be rice, steamed rice. Thai
Very
curry
good.
Inside. Nice.
Thank you. Just not spicy, please.
One Thai curry, green.
Yeah.
Gulab jamun and rose milkshake with ice cream. And you have a steamed rice inside there.
Steamed rice will be
Okay.
good.
Nice there.
Thanks. So, you see, folks, you take your time, you choose your food, and then you just have a good time. That's, I think, if you don't have, folks, if you're in a hurry, then you probably need to revision. You know, if every day you're finishing work like at 8 p.m., that means that your day is really, you sacrifice the entirety of your day to work, you know. So then you go, I don't know, you go eat at a restaurant. You think paying $20 for a restaurant is expensive? I think it's really fucking expensive. I mean, here I had lunch at a restaurant, a very fancy restaurant, and I had lunch at a fancy restaurant. And it cost me $3. $3.50 is what I consume. I actually don't count in the expenses things that I don't eat, because in the future I know I will never choose that. So when I'm telling you folks, I mean, it doesn't really matter today if I tell you, well, I had some salted milk. I also learned the name for it is chas. So what's the name for, I think you would say Kia Bolt, Kia Nam Bolt, Kia Hai, or something like that. But then you know it's chas or chas. In any case, I didn't like it. Cost us 60 cents. I think it's definitely something I can afford. At least to know that in the future I'm not gonna pick it. But I'm having a gulab jamun. I'm having a rose milkshake with green pistachio ice cream. And I'm having a vegetarian Thai curry, which is green colored, with steamed rice. So how much of this am I gonna eat? I don't know. I don't really care. Got a lunchbox here where I can bring whatever I don't want. So in a nutshell, this entire thing is probably gonna cost me $8, maybe $10. So I ate twice at a restaurant today for $13. Very affordable for the average Canadian that wins 15 bucks an hour. So thank you. In the other wonderful things of Indian restaurants, or just coming to India in general, is the service, the quality of the service. We have, or people here, you do get a lot of service, and you know, I have to say service in general is really ideal in terms of going to a restaurant. So, you know, you get good service. You definitely don't have to scream for people to come help you. I don't even speak the language here, and I'm getting very good service. So things are what they are. To get the same things I am eating today in the US or Canada, it would have cost me maybe around $50. So about 5 times the price. Which is why I would strongly advise on, you know, getting a flat here. And I'm actually looking at prices of flats. What I'll do later today is I'm actually gonna look at places that I can rent out. I don't think, well, first of all, I don't have the money right now to buy a $100,000 flat in India, where I would, even if I would live here 3 months a year, it's too much. So, you know, you then look at what the rent looks like, and then let me tell you how I'm doing it. One of the things that I have not purchased yet, but I will purchase, you know, sometime in the near future, is, and folks, I like compact traveling. One of the things that I don't have right now, is a tent. I basically don't have a tent, but it's something that I may purchase in the future. Folks, rose milkshake with a scoop of green pistachio ice cream. Now I know where I've had this thing before. I've actually had the rose flavored drinks in the past, but now I know the name. So talk about learning about a culture, you know, learning about food. What a cool way to travel the world really affordably and learn about, you know, different foods and stuff. I think this is something that a lot of you would enjoy. A lot of you are doing it already. Out of this world. Rose milkshake with green pistachio ice creams. It's amazing. So, continuing on the subject, having a tent. The tent, I would say for now, I can actually afford lodging, but something to look into the future would be paying monthly rent. For example, next year, I'm curious as to see where I'll be financially, to see if I can or buy a flat, or rent a flat, or buy a tent and just stay in the tent the whole time in some type of ashram or forest or whatever. Thank you very much. This is very good. Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I know your name?
Prakash.
Prakash? Thank you very much, Prakash. Your restaurant is beautiful. It's excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Folks, look at the beauty of these. This is vegetarian green curry Thai. It's basically Thai food. And these are, well, those were the gulab jamuns, but the whole thing costed like $2. Folks, $2. I mean, if you want to do justice to your stomach, anywho, food's just a little bit on the spicy side. I did ask for it to not be spicy, but you know how things are. This is India. Not spicy is like very spicy for us. So, back to what I was saying. Things that I really like. They have a portable power bank. A portable power bank helps you if you have, for example, I have a Morphe power bank that powers my laptop. I have a MacBook Pro of last year. So I mean, that thing takes in a lot of energy, but it will power it. It will power an iPad, which I use for work. It powers my cell phone as well. So that gives me a lot of freedom. To be honest, in 3 months in India, I have never lacked electricity at one time. It's basically like the power bank is completely useless. So that's one thing. Now, something I would like to, and something that I do like to, that I like is to not be too hot, and that's something that's a bit of a challenge here. So one of the things that I find out, and another thing that I love, there was this cartoon back in Cuba when I was a child growing up, that there was this banana character that had a backpack, and he would take out anything from that backpack, an airplane, a table, a blow dryer. The guy had like the infinite backpack. So I'm basically trying to travel the world like that banana. My backpack has to be easy to go around, and so anyways, on Amazon I found these shoes that you roll them up, and it's basically the pair of shoes. You can use it for hiking. I mean, if you use that for hiking, you're gonna destroy your feet. But it's about the size. When you roll it up, it's the size of my fist. So it's very easy to pack. You know, that sandals. You need sandals when you travel, I feel, just for comfort's sake. You know. What else do you need? You need a microfiber towel. Absolutely amazing purchase. Absolutely amazing. This is excellent food. So why it's an amazing purchase. Let me show you folks something that's very classical of here, of the city of Pune. In Pune, they give sometimes onions that you eat along with your food. So, where was I? There are companies that make traveling gear, like Patagonia. Patagonia is a pretty good brand. If you want to wear like comfortable stuff that has lots of pockets for you to travel, I think that's good. There is this company which makes basically coats, windbreakers that has like 25 pockets. But the microfiber towels dry up in like 5 minutes. I've used them as a place to lie on. I've used them as a seat. I've used them as a pillow. I've used them as towels. Very quick to wash them, and they dry up in no time. So, those are things that you definitely need. The microfiber towel. The power bank. In today's world, I will dare say that you actually need internet. So you then gotta know your choices. Right now I'm live streaming with T-Mobile from T-Mobile gives me unlimited internet in the world, including India. The speed is really bad, it's mediocre, but when you think about it, I am streaming live from India to YouTube, and it's not costing me anything above what I'm paying on a monthly basis, which is about $100 a month. So, like I said, folks, India is unique in the style of restaurants that you have. Thank you very much. The service is just excellent. It's a society where people still respect each other a lot. So you can taste the ginger very well in this food, and it's delicious. Let me tell you folks why I think that in North America we are getting so obese. The mentality that we have in North America is not one of balance, it's one of productivity. When society in the States, in Canada, and all of these very advanced countries decided as a group to go from, we're going to abandon the family model, we're going to fuse with technology, we're going to replace what we have from family, we're going to use technology, and we're going to evolve faster in that way. It created for a lot of compensatory mechanisms wherein society really shows you that humans in the end need humans in order to be mentally stable. What do I mean by that? There are people, I've had jobs myself where you work so much in a week, you may work more than 80 hours, maybe 100 hours a week. Very highly paying job. But that productivity is like only looking at imagine the Mona Lisa painting, and you only look at the eyes of the Mona Lisa. And then you actually start writing only on the eyes. Oh, Mona Lisa, so pretty, her eyes are black, I see in the eyes this. And you spend like 3 books, you make 3 books talking just of the eyes of the Mona Lisa. Tell me folks, how much do people really know that you're actually talking about the Mona Lisa? They actually don't know much beyond the eyes of what you're describing. So in a similar fashion, North America has developed an extremely enjoyable society to compensate for the lack of balance. Because if you don't have any balance, the only way you can keep people in the same level of discipline, but discipline in a stupid way, doing discipline in self-destruction. The only way you can do that is with pleasure. It has to be with sex, it has to be with drugs, it has to be with what the hippies like. And that's essentially the culture that you have. It's a culture that's not balanced, and consequently, in order for people to achieve the desires of very powerful corporations, which are just a substrata of mankind, unfortunately, what happens is just that. It's that you have people that work a lot and then they have to compensate somehow. And that's how they're compensating. So they're actually, since they're working now 70 hours or 80 hours, they have 2-3 jobs. So, instead of having 2 to 3 jobs, they're actually trying to get the energy to compensate for all the expenditures that they have. If the human body, folks, has a 24-hour circadian rhythm, for you to work 70 hours a week, it doesn't really fit into a balanced lifestyle. So consequently, they have to do something else. They have to be on drugs. You have to treat their depression without assessing the problem, which is just you assess the symptoms. The symptoms of folks, the diagnosis in modern medicine of depression is assessing the symptoms of depression, but not doing jack shit about. You can argue that psychology, with different things like cognitive behavioral therapy and all these other methods work, but from the pharmacological standpoint, that when you diagnose depression, you do it on the basis of emotions and what the patient's feeling, and not what's causing the patient to feel miserable. You rarely hear a physician tell a depressed patient, you need to change jobs, get the fuck out of your job. They will never say that, because in today's world, the medical business establishment will definitely not back that physician up. But what really needs to happen is that you folks, the doctors are as good as the society is. In a society that lacks a certain type of balance, you can't expect the physicians to be, Jesus Christ incarnate. So, whatever it may mean to you, what I'm trying to say is that people are actually compensating. They are obtaining a physical body like it was a virtual reality, and really what's happening is that their DNA is not withholding, and they're getting cancers, and they're getting side effects of not sleeping well enough. So the basic template of human life, folks, is your genetic code. It's nothing else. It's your genetic code. According to your genetic, so you have multiple parts of your biology that finds correlation, and then society has to provide you with a tool to sustain your body. But if you're not smart, unfortunately, you need to have the self-control in terms of making the right life decisions. I'm not talking self-control in terms of eating. I'm talking self-control in terms of choosing what you want to do as a living, of leaving your job at the right time, not with a burnout. People. My personal opinion is that sometimes when people make some life decisions, their mind haunts them. And they lose something called equanimity. Equanimity is basically when something happens around you, how much does that thing change you? When you're an equanimous person, a car accident in front of you doesn't make you throw yourself down into tears. It just basically leaves you unscathed. That equanimity, you look for it in yoga when you don't have it. And quite honestly, the average person that has developed a lot of any medical condition needs to check into equanimity, not because the disease is caused by a lack of equanimity, but because diseases also cause lack of equanimity. If you're suffering, folks, physically, mentally, sentimentally, then you're not in an equanimous state. So you have to look, even if you have something as simple as knee pain, you have knee pain, you have to look into how has that affected your equanimity. Then remember too, if you're gonna pig out like I'm doing right now, let it be something that's healthy. This is basically some green curry, and then of course some gulab jamun. Folks, for a human being to gain something like 50 pounds, let me tell you, on a daily basis, if you eat 500 calories above your daily expenditure, 500 calories, that it will take an entire year for you to reach 60 pounds, basically 50 pounds overweight. But it's actually not even, it's not even like that. Because I guess I'm trying to use the reverse psychology of weight loss. You know, weight loss, we tell people, you lose 500 calories a day, at the end of the week you lost a pound. But that's the most, I guess, barbaric and simplistic way that we can tell patients how to lose weight, because it has no attention as to what the long-term consequences are. Somebody that does that for a week, oh yeah, let's see how much the weight just goes back up like the next week, because your body works according to balance. When I'm telling you folks, balance is important, I'm not really talking about is what you're eating balanced. I mean, are you balanced? Because if you're not balanced, you can't even pick the right foods to eat. And what's the right food to eat? What I'm trying to say is that you're basically not contaminated of sources. Let me give you an example. So you work a lot. You have a boss that's a piece of shit. Or let's say you have a good boss, but today he's mean, he feels like being a piece of shit. So he's angry, he's in a lot of debt. So he goes home, he mistreats you. You go choose food later on. You choose something based on how you feel. When you are not in an equanimous state, that's not you eating, it's actually the perturbed you. And so you basically make wrong food choices. And that is not to say that the food choices don't fill you up, but they don't give you satisfaction. And that's what I'm talking about. When you eat the food that you choose, being in a peaceful state of being, then you will feel satisfied with your choices and with the food that you eat. And that's called real eating. Another way to really eat is when you're starving, you're hungry. You know, you eat something and then you're just very happy, and then you enjoy the event. Now, if you're not very hungry, then you have to have the peace of mind to choose food, you know, in a way that you're going to feel satisfaction with your eating. So, I mean, a lot of us eat when we're not hungry. Frankly speaking, folks, today, right now, I wasn't all that hungry. But I know if I don't eat, by 2 a.m., I'm going to be starving and I won't be able to find food, so... That is basically how you mitigate between two types of food. You eat when you're very hungry. If you're eating at a moment where you're not hungry, then you have to look into what is your state of being. Are you anxious thinking of work? Then don't pick food. Just go slowly and wait. Just wait. You know, in reality, folks, I'm saying all this, but most of you people will not be able to do that until you are in a relaxed environment, and then you do it naturally. So technically what needs to happen is that some people need to get fired from their jobs. They need to have like a reassessment of their inner peace. And then when you taste that inner peace, you'll know that that is true living. Not only that, but the true living is also a gateway for you to live your life so that you never fall back to having an abusive boss. Folks, if you have an abusive boss, then I am telling you, you are in the wrong job. me tell you something else.
Like this, sir? Thai curry, like?
Very good.
Nice.
I loved it. It was very nice. Next time I'll try the red one.
Yeah.
Just to know, to compare.
Red will be little spicy.
Oh, it's more spicy? The red is
more.
Okay. I thought this was a little spicy. So red is more spicy than this.
But in green, no. Green will be no spicy. Green vegetable. Green, red will be Szechuan chutney sauce. This inside.
The chutney.
Little spicy.
Okay.
Red.
So chutney is spicy?
Spicy.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
gulab jamun, nice.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yeah. So these are another things that are very typical of India. If you want to see, gulab jamun is it's almost like dough, fried dough dipped in sugar. Wow. Not wow in the sense that it tastes good. Wow, that it's so sweet. But so folks, what I want to say is that these videos are meant for you to watch while you're eating, when you're eating alone. If you're alone and you're eating, then just have this very long conversation with me. Like we were eating together. And as you notice, I cover a lot of subjects that are meaningful to me. And this, this is what we call satsang in the yoga scriptures. It's basically when someone speaks with a bunch of people and they share on their personal experiences. I really want folks to be able to enjoy the foods they eat. But to do that, folks, you're not gonna enjoy eating. I mean, you will enjoy eating, but it's like saying that prostitutes enjoy sex. It's not the same. If you have a family, if you have the loved ones, it's not the same. Similarly, when you folks are so worked up from a job, and then you enjoy food, you're not really enjoying food. You're actually worn out. You don't have the energy to actually eat. It actually takes spiritual energy to choose food. It takes spiritual energy to connect with food. And it takes spiritual energy to digest food. Now, you don't hear this in any place, but this is the type of stuff that you're not going to hear from your average physician or people that actually don't care about you all that much. I'm not trying to criticize your doctor. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. And this is the same things that I would tell my son. How many of your doctors are doing videos to talk to you like they would be talking to their children? Mostly not. So this is, doctor to me is just, a lot of people have the need to define what a human being is. He's like, you're a doctor, so you're a doctor, that's all you are. No, not really. First of all, I'm a human being like you are. And that's first and foremost. And the last thing you should know me as is a doctor. Because you have a lot of preconceived notions of what a doctor is, but you have almost no preconceived notion of what a human being is. So to do justice to an individual, the first thing you have to accept is that you don't know jack shit about them. And that you are a human being yourself. So you're learning, they're learning. Tools like these are basically like a compendium of information that would take me way too much time to write, and it would be way too boring, and I don't have time for it. And thank God we have these type of media nowadays where we can just share. We can share a meal, if you're watching and eating. Now look at the stuff we spoke about. I covered real estate in India, food choices, different words in in Hindi that you can learn. I covered tin the box. This is fucking awesome. You know what would be funny? If I get a sticker here from like the Tin Man from Alice as my food supplier. But anyways, I'm gonna try to get my bill. Can I get the bill, please? So let's see what the bill is today for this dinner. That's kind of, I think it was bar none, excellent service, excellent food. If you're in the city of Pune, the place is called Ramak. The place is called Ramakrishna Restaurant, and it's on near Kalyani Sagar. Folks, a lot of the stuff that I have learned actually comes from the guru that I follow. His name is Yogi Raj Siddhanath Gurunath, and I've spent pretty much most of my January, February, and March. I'm done with everything. Very happy.
Yeah. Which country you come from?
I'm from Canada, Montreal.
Canada. Nice.
I'm actually a weight loss doctor, family doctor, and I make videos where I tell people, what's nice in terms of food, where they can eat healthy. And India has a lot of good choices, so I'm always happy to share, the choices what I eat, because back home we eat a lot of meat. We eat meat, but we don't eat well, and people they're getting sicker and sicker, and then they have to look at where human beings have made a good diet, and India is a very good example. It's affordable, it tastes great, and it's healthy. I think it's a good thing for people to come here. But yeah. But, the total price, folks, for all that stuff that you saw me eat is 500 rupees. 500 rupees, my friends, is less than 10 Canadian dollars, so it's about, I don't know, about 60, it's about, let's say it's about, so 60 divided, folks, my mathematics has gone a long way from those high school days. The problem with medicine is like you kind of become dumber. But anyways, 6 times 4 is about, 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 4 is 66. Fuck it, you do the math. Welcome to the world today. You don't need to do math for anything. Folks, you do the math. I'm enjoying my food. I'm enjoying my glass of water. So I'm not gonna make my life more complicated in order to make your life simple. You wanna know how much I paid? I paid 500 rupees. I'm gonna leave 600 rupees. That's roughly 15, 17, 20%, almost 20% of gratuity, So it's 600 rupees is $10 US. Exactly. That's how much you'll get it at the current exchange rate. So 600 times, it's about $12 Canadian. With tip, including tip. Thank you very much. So, with prices like those, why would you even cook, you know? Folks, I think with prices like those, why would you even buy a home? Or actually, there's several options that are possible. One of those is actually didn't even need to fill it up, but what I'm trying to say is that the Hamsayo Parivar, folks, the family of the Hamsayogis. To make a long story short, see you next time. This is a so basically you come here, eat some good food, you're out, and folks, $10, man, $10 folks. You know how much $10 would get you in Canada? Absolutely nothing. This food I could have easily, you know, let me switch this up so you guys can see where I'm heading. The food I could have easily split the curry at the end, folks. There was a ton of curry left, so I was eating curry like I was having soup. Hey, sir. Jagannath Hotel. So, alright, well, this guy doesn't want to give us a lift. Maybe I should walk it out. So, going back to the subject, actually, maybe I might want to check out the stores just across the street, right? Fuck it, I did it already. So, I'm just going to keep on walking. Hotel somewhere in that direction. But lazy me sees another tuk-tuk. Hell to walking. Sir, are you working? To go Jagannath Hotel?
Huh?
Jagannath Hotel?
Naz Hotel.
Once again with the tuk-tuks, my friends. You can get just about anywhere here for 20 rupees, folks. That's 33 US cents. Basically don't have to walk, so you're my lazy ass American friends, you're gonna love it. One of the things that you shouldn't do when you come here is to buy a bicycle. I don't think Indian roads are for bicycles. It may be. Now look at that. If you stay here for a long period of time, a scooter costs about $1,000. I think that's a good thing to buy. It gives you quite a lot of freedom, but that's more for people that are looking into like buying an apartment and possibly just storing your scooter there when you leave the country. Then as soon as you're back, folks, for 20 rupees, there's two things. How much gas do you folks think I would spend? And folks, the whole idea, my recommendation for you people in order to come to India for is not to actually waste money. It's not to buy stuff. It's really for you to know that you are back home living the way you are because of your own choices. I'm not trying to get you to leave the States. I'm not trying to get you to leave the US. I'm not saying that India is better. All I'm saying is that you have to realize that there are options out there and that you are where you are. And you eat as you eat because you actually have the choice. But you don't have the choice, folks, until you realize you have the choice. And this is how you have the choice. When you come here and you have fun doing the things I do, which is going out, eating, staying at a nice hotel, going to a meditation place, going to the Himalayas all in fucking 2-week period. Then you actually realize that living the way you live back home is actually a choice, and it's not being forced upon you by Walmart. You know, buying shitty products is not being forced upon you by McDonald's. And that is the attitude and the mentality of complaining about everybody around us that we have. And ultimately, it's why we have such poor results in the things we want. I think most of us want to live healthy and want to be healthy, so then you got to make the choices which accommodate for you to be healthy. But I think those are the best choices. You just need to know what you have more options. Mosquito bites the other day, staying at the ashram. And talking about the good thing about the way people live when they're on vacation is that at the end of tomorrow, they're basically with their family thinking about tomorrow. That's fucked up. That's not living. Anyway, like about how rich I am, eat them all. So, I mean, without just being like, fuck, I don't want to eat that much. So anyways, this is a mandir of Ganesh. It's closed right now. But yesterday, the other one, there's another one like right up in front. I don't know the name of this street, but the one that I was walking, the one yesterday, it was quite noisy. But they have some really nice bhajans, or the Indian songs in praise of Shri Ganesh, and it was cool. That was nice. And so, anywho. Fucking stink. Something burning here, plastic or something. But anyways, so the cool thing, folks, about you know, the coming here in India and all that, folks, if you get to learn Hindi, folks, in 2 years, give me 2 years, I'm gonna be able to speak to you in Hindi. Not only am I gonna be able to speak to you in Hindi, but what else am I? Marathi as well. I'm gonna speak Hindi and Marathi. I'm already learning, you know, quite a few words in the past 2 days. I think I learned 5 or 6 or maybe even 10 words. So the way I'm doing the math, I'll be able to speak, you know, a little crappy, but it'll be enough to get by. It'll be enough to find a good Indian wife. What up, Dodge? Stop Indian Dodge right there. So these are mandirs, folks. The mandirs are temples. That are located. This is one of the things, folks, that we need to balance out. We need to have balance. So the balance that I'm talking about is that society, you know, a human being is not just, you know, a bunch of bones, a pack of flesh and a bunch of bones. It's actually a human being is a compilation of things, but it's what you like. It's what you like spiritually as well. There is no balance in our, folks, back where I live in Canada. There's a problem with churches. The churches are closing down and they're being sold because people are not going to church. So the presbytery is basically trying to liquidate the amount of they have, and that's basically the solution to mankind's lack of fucking spirituality, is to close down shop and just go somewhere else where there's money. That is fucked up, but that is the proof that there is far more churches than there needs to be. In what sense? In the sense, folks, that I mean, the spiritual need is there, but the population is not recognizing the spiritual need that they have. So the correct role of the clergy has to be to inspire people to see that they are above the things of this world. And so instead of having 55 banks in 2 streets, like Montreal has, you would have maybe 10 banks, and 10 churches. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that India's balanced. Actually, if you want to see like people are fucking dumb, you'll talk to people in no thank you. You'll talk to people in North America, and they'll be like, oh yeah, the cool things about our culture is that we're multicultural, and that's fucking retarded like nothing else. You know? No. Huh? Kedar? I don't know. No. Thank you. So, I don't know what that was. So, where was I? What was I talking about? Smells good here. Hey, Ganesha again, ladies and gentlemen. We're just gonna go to these different places, and as we're saying hi to the local deities, hello Ganesh. You know? So what I was saying is that you want to balance out your town. You want to have 10 people, not 10 people, rather 10 churches, 10 banks, not 55 banks and 2 or 1 church. So what that tells you, folks, in terms of an ecosystem is 2 things. First of all, since society is basically powered by people's interest, that means that people don't have any interest in going to church. And that couldn't be a more real statement. I mean, that's straight up what is. People really don't want to go to church anymore. So, how can the people of the clergy, and there's different reasons for that. I think part of the problem is that the people in the clergy are not doing what people here in India do called tapasya. You know, people are not putting it's like if you're a part of the church, you don't go through any hunger, folks. When the church was powerful in Europe, Latin America, and all these countries, is basically because these people abandoned their fucking homes back wherever they lived, and they came to the Americas. Not only they came to the Americas and they were having a hard time, but that's actually what happens. If everybody's being very prosperous, somebody needs to hold fort. And that hold fort is the spiritual basis and the basis of, and part of the stability that the spiritual class provides for the rest of society. I mean, this is just my opinion. It's a very simplistic thing, folks. You know, I am a simple person. I'm a simple guy. But I think balance is a big issue. So, if you're a Christian and you want to help Christianism, don't give your money to the church. Be a good Christian. That's what you gotta do. You gotta be a fucking excellent Christian. How are you a good Christian? You obey by your own religion. I mean, what else is there to do for you? If you want to be a hardcore Christian, then you make videos on pilgrimage that you do in the name of God. You know, so that people rally around you. So the good thing about doing those pilgrimages is that people are gonna get inspired by you. People are gonna see your faith in God, and knowing about your faith, they're gonna want to help you. And then don't fucking take their help. Don't be like the church that's like, okay, then donate money to me or whatever. No, actually have a hard time and do it for God, and then prove to people how you actually can get everything just by your faith alone. And not what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that accepting money is bad, folks. It's just how you live. If you're the second you get a donation, you change to something else, then you weren't really a Christian to begin with. You know, the Christianity, if the Christianity flies away the second that you get paid, or the second that you get donations, then really Christianity was just an accessory path to making that money, which was what you wanted really in the end. So what I want to say, that's what I want to basically bring up. When the church is closing down churches because they don't have money, what they should do as much as possible is let the place run the fuck down and then stay there. Eventually, people from society are going to come into church and they're going to be like, oh my God, this church looks like shit. And it's because they're going to realize that you stood your ground
in the name of God, and that they actually just kind of chilled out too fucking much. But that is better in a Christian sense and for the sake of Christianity than it's closing down the church. So stay there, have a hard fucking time. But eventually, when people come to visit church, you're gonna see that there's real Christians. There's people here that decided to stay here, spread the worth of God, regardless. And folks, I think that's why in the end, I'm gonna have to do something a little bit like that. And for many reasons, but one of those reasons being that, I don't know, does I feel like it maybe? I have no idea, folks, we'll see. But I feel to a very high degree that, I mean, there are positions that people can take in human society and in human culture. And those positions can benefit society in general. And there are some of those positions which only you can make, folks. When I say only you can do it, I mean only the person that has the spiritual capacity to do it can take that position. And I'm thinking of doing something like that to some degree, because there's stuff that's just common sense shit, and to me would be effortless. Like what I'm doing right now. I'm going through India, I'm chilling, I'm eating good food, and I'm making videos. This is not taking any effort. It's actually quite nice. So similarly, if I could do something like that, but that at the same time could glorify the Christian religion, I think that would be great. If at the same time we could, I mean, we'll see what things show, but I think this is where my life is heading, because quite frankly, the whole money thing, like medicine in general, I mean, I actually think, even with my knowledge as a doctor, the salaries that we have a dual function, but it's not that impressive. I mean, I don't feel that all the money that I have as a physician is being used then to help people. In other words, I am a physician, I make money, and then, you know, you come back from the cruise, and then when you need more money. So basically, I think that this is how the average family physician is today. And in the function that a family physician does in society, it's good and it's sufficient, because they are doing what they were trained to do. But who you are in the day is shown not in your training, but how you behave. And that's how I think I'm a different side of family medicine, and particularly with the obesity problem. And it's just the same shit I've been saying for the past hour and 24 minutes. It's about balance, but how does balance reflect on money? That's a hell of a topic, because that's basically telling people that if I had a lot of money, which I can make as a family physician, where is the balance, folks? Is the balance in me working more and giving money away to society where society needs help? Or is it in first doing that in my life? So I think what I'll be doing for the next few years is that I'm gonna be balancing my life, and eventually we'll see how that reflects into productivity and potentially helping others. In that same time, you know, folks, some of this stuff, like Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, when you're breathing, you know, in and out, and you're going around your life, are you breathing out of duty? In general, and I think that Christ body talks to everybody, and it tries to teach people in an indirect way, in a way that works. Let me give you an example. You've seen on YouTube a lot of women are really acting with the whole feminism movement without any fucking sense of self-control. How could this happen in a society? that has so much prosperity and education. So they started promoting lack of, aka freedom. Let's make freedom for everybody, freedom to show who you are. And then with this unlimited freedom, you're seeing all types of shit, like women making pastries with vaginal yeast. You know, women making periods are beyond, it's beyond normal. But what that shows those individuals really are, who the people that are doing those things really are. It doesn't think about anybody else really. Should you become a fanatic of freedom? And that's what I think Christ consciousness is teaching people. It's showing people that, okay, so you want freedom? Okay, here, have it. You have freedom, and then it shows you all the crazy shit that people are doing. And then it brings you to reason out that, okay, maybe all that freedom is not that necessary. So you see, it taught you indirectly using other people as an example. And this is my opinion on how Christ consciousness works on a societal level. But anywho, because I'm back in the hotel, I'm gonna chill out. I'm actually gonna sit down because I'm running out of. I'm actually quite full, and I just want to chill out a little bit. So